pleasure to be in the company of such distinguished people who lead the way in public service. But let's face reality. These are the times that try the souls of men and women who want to give. Economic times are very, very difficult. Many of you are thinking about your own livings, about your own jobs, about your own families. And this is the time when we really test our commitment to service. It's easy to do public service when times are good. It's easy to do public service when it's extra. I'll tell you an interesting story, which is why I fell in love with my wife, who's here somewhere today. There she is. When I first met her, she asked me for some advice. I figured, oh, another woman, she's interested in my free legal advice. She said she was applying for a scholarship at Boston University. She was getting her PhD, and she listed among her expenses $100 for charity. And the people at BU said, no, you can't give charity, you're on scholarship. Charity is not a necessity, it is a luxury. And Carolyn said, not in my tradition. She said, in the tradition that she comes from, the Jewish tradition, the word for charity is tzedakah, which comes from the word tzedek, justice. It is a moral, religious, and almost legal obligation. And she won that fight with Boston University, and from now on, charity is an obligation, a necessity, and not just a luxury. And that's the way we all have to think about it. Many of us come from professions or areas where we do have a monopoly. Lawyers are the only people who can go to court and represent people. Doctors are the only people who can treat people. You have to have a license to do most of the things. And with a license, with a monopoly comes an obligation. Our obligation is to make sure that the most needy get what they need, the benefit of our services. The legal profession provides legal services primarily for the top 10%. The job of most lawyers is to make very wealthy people super wealthy, and super wealthy, mega wealthy, and mega wealthy, not pay as much taxes. And I'm not going to here to quarrel with that any more than I would quarrel with Ken Cole's dressing us all so beautifully. On some people it looks better than on others, but I'm not quarreling with that. But with that comes the obligation, and it's such a deep-seated obligation. And let me tell you, and I know I can speak for all of us who do things that make us happy and make us wealthy and make us successful, nothing gives me more pleasure, and I bet it's true for all of us, than what we do in service. What we do not for pay, not for compensation, but to help people less fortunate. So do yourself a favor and do the world a favor, and in these times of crisis, redouble your effort, redouble your commitment to the public interest. Thank you very much.